Superintendent Commerce ISD, and I'm at A.C. Williams Elementary School today with Miss Amy Canusta, Assistant Principal, and Miss Rachel Copeland, Principal. And just wanted to come over and spend a little time with them, ask them a few questions, get their thoughts on a few things. So we will start out by saying that both these ladies are in new roles this year. Miss Copeland moved up from the Assistant Principal to Campus Principal. Miss Canusta moved from a role at the middle school to be the Assistant Principal this year at A.C. Williams. Miss Canusta, what have been some things that have inspired you since you've come to A.C. Williams, or maybe things that you have found to be more challenging than you maybe thought it might be?
It's inspiring. The students have inspired me so much. Coming from a background in secondary, I was a little bit nervous about what it would be like to work with elementary students, but I get hugs every day. They're happy to see me in the hallways, outside, in the classrooms. So that's been really inspiring. Also, our staff work incredibly hard. They care about their students. They are always willing to jump in and help and do whatever is needed to make sure students are successful. So that's what inspires me the most every day. As far as challenges go, just learning a new role. It's always difficult to hop into something new and that I've never done before, but overall, it's been a wonderful experience.
Thank you. Ms. Copeland, I'll ask if you would just kind of share on the same things, things that inspire you here, and also what you see as maybe some challenges here.
So for inspiration, same thing. It's the students. They are excited when I get here. If you ever have a bad day and you want to walk down the hallway here and they're super excited, they hug me and they're so excited. When I go in the classrooms, they just want to be around me, which is great because, from the outside, you may not think that's the case. Like the principals are the ones that discipline a lot of the times, but they love us. So I feel like that proves that we are, building relationships with our kids and they know that we love them. A challenge, I will say, stepping into the principal role, there was more meetings and things like that I wasn't, prepared for. So I don't always love that part of it. I like to be amongst the kids. I want to be involved with the kids. And so there's more time not in the center of children. And that's been my biggest challenge.
Okay. It sounds to me like you're both very student-centered, and that's what we want from our administrators, so appreciate your answers. Ms. Copeland, moving from the AP role to the principal role, maybe give us some idea of anything that you might have changed or tried to enhance or maybe do differently or bring to the campus to try to improve A.C. Williams.
So we have grade level chairs, and being a new principal, they've been a lifesaver. They are the leaders of their grade level. And so before we had them and we met and, they would do things, but now I rely on them a lot because I don't have time as I'm learning the role and doing all of the things that a principal has to do. They are great resources with contacting their team, and, I get feedback faster and I get it from a wide variety of everybody, not just seeing two people and like, hey, what do you think about this? Do you think it'll work? I can talk to those 3 or 4 ladies and get what the campus wants.
Okay. Ms. Canusta, I would ask you the same question. Anything maybe that you've brought from your secondary experience down to the elementary level, or just things that you've seen as a former, what I would call great teacher in Commerce ISD, that maybe you've brought to A.C. Williams as well?
One of the things that I've focused on is our positive behavior interventions, and A.C. Williams already had some things in place, but one of the things that I've worked with teachers on especially is creating behavior plans for students where they can see how they're doing every day. They can earn incentives. We use Tiger tickets here, and so they can earn those Tiger tickets. And that we're trying to teach replacement behaviors and not just punish and give consequences when the students don't do what we expect them to do. Because if you only give consequences and you're not teaching them the right things, they're going to continue to get in trouble. So that's something that I've worked really hard on with Ms. Copeland, and I think also some of the trainings that I've had, especially with student engagement, student discourse, that's been really important, and that's a big part of our Bluebonnet curriculum, is getting kids to have academic conversations. And I've had a lot of experience with that, and so I've been able to kind of lend that expertise where it's applicable.
Okay. Thank you. And then every job interview in education any of us ever go to, somebody always asks, what's your philosophy on education? And it's a real broad question, but I'll ask you both, what is your 15-second philosophy on education?
Students are our number one priority, so meeting their needs, whether it be emotional, academic, physical. So my number one philosophy is taking care of kids.
Okay. Ms. Canusta?
I would say that my philosophy is we're here to grow people, and that includes students and that includes staff. And so like Ms. Copeland alluded to with our grade level chairs, if we're not growing people, then what are we even doing? We don't want anybody to stay stagnant in their role. We want to move everybody forward, even kids who are performing at the top levels. We've got to move those kids forward, and then all of our struggling kids as well. Those kids in the middle that, often don't get as much attention because they're just doing all the right things every day. And then with our staff, we really try to get into classrooms. Our PLCs, I think, are very productive. We have a lot of great conversations, and we're trying to focus on how we can make those educators leaders among their peers as well as in their own classroom.
Okay. I think it'd be interesting if both of you would kind of elaborate on the relationship between principal and assistant principal, kind of how you guys help each other on a daily basis. I always felt like when I was a principal, I spent more time with my assistant principal than I did with my spouse. I always called them my work wife or my work husband, and so just kind of elaborate a little bit on that, on y'all's dynamics as a team.
So we are a team. I do feel like sometimes that we are practically married. There are sometimes and I feel like we just jump in together on a lot of things. Like, if I see that a situation could go south, then I'm right there to support her. And being new in that role, I know that, discipline was gonna be her thing, but she's new to it. So a lot of it we do together, or she'll ask, or she'll be like, hey, this is what I did. And I'm like, that's great. That's exactly what I would have done. Or that's good, but next time I'd like to see this. So giving feedback and helping her grow, because eventually, she'll want to be a principal and, step up. So letting her do everything that she wants to do, but supporting her along the way so that she is successful and that she learns and grows. Not that I was the best assistant principal ever, but I have some experiences that could help her. And so I tell her all the time, I have 100% faith in you, and I'm going to let you do what you want to do. But if you need me, I'm always here.
Okay. Ms. Canusta, how do you support Ms. Copeland in y'all's dynamics?
Ultimately, she is in charge of this school, and part of my job is to make her look good, and I'm happy to do that. She has been an amazing mentor. She has all kinds of experience, and I really admire, people will come in the office and say, you don't look old enough to be the principal. She's the same age as my oldest child, but I love that. I mean, I think it's wonderful. Not only is she a role model for me, but she's a role model for all of our young ladies about women being in leadership roles. And I've learned so much from her already. She really does support me in anything that I need. And I try to be there for her. If I know that she's busy, I'll try to volunteer to jump into a meeting so that she doesn't have to handle that. I do try to be proactive with things so that the day can run as smoothly as possible, and she doesn't have to worry about every detail of the day-to-day. That's more of what I do, so she can be focused on the bigger picture.
Okay.
And she does a great job of that.
All right, and then the last question. Public education, a lot of times takes a beating on social media, news outlets. They only want to report, the one or two bad things that are happening across the entire state of Texas. That's what they'll focus on every night on the news. But when you see that and you don't always feel supported, and you're dealing with kids and parents, sometimes difficult situations, what makes you come back day after day to want to be an educator? What's your why in this business? Why are you here?
Kids, 100%. If I make a difference with 2 kids in my career, then it was worth it to me. I've worked with, the behavior kids in the last 4 years as assistant principal, and, they were presenting me with an award the other day for Principal's Month. And one of the hardest kids that I worked with last year got up in the middle of it and ran on stage and gave me a hug. And I was like, that is why I do what I do, because of that child. Now, there were times last year we were going head to head, and I'm like, we're going to get there, but yes, he got up and hugged me on stage in front of the whole school. And it was just like, that is exactly why I do this job. They can say what they want on Facebook. I know what we're doing here. And I know, you can pick apart any job someone does. And education is an easy one to pick apart. We make so many decisions at a drop of a hat that, it may not be the best decision every time, but overall we did what we thought was right to help support kids and grow kids. And so that's what brings me back. It's the sweet babies.
Okay. And Miss Canusta?
Watching how people grow. It's amazing how some of those kids who are really struggling at the beginning of the year, by the end of the year, you can see how much progress they've made. Same thing with staff. When you can intervene or, give them some coaching and you can see how they're able to improve, that is the most satisfying thing. So public education is the means that society has to get better. And, not everybody can afford private, or it's just logistically not possible. So I feel like I'm needed every day. I feel like I make a difference every day in some way. If I ever am not making a difference, then that'll be when it's time for me to retire.
Okay. Well, I appreciate y'all spending a few minutes with us today. Have a lot of respect for both of you. I think, as I said earlier, you're both very student-centered. You support your staff. You're there for your kids, and you're trying to help people grow. So I feel like AC Williams is in good hands.